Rhea Ripley is warming up. Charlotte appears and says for Rhea to follow her lead, and Flair will take care of Asuka. Ripley says, I'll be glad to follow you, Charlotte. In 2 weeks, straight to hell.
It's the fact that she says it with emphasis, like she's so proud of this badass line that she just said. You know, I'll show
She's
her.
like picturing the meme. Whoa!
I said hell.
She said it.
Dude,
there is no one that has struggled with WWE promos worse than Rhea Ripley. Like this woman was she had such a cool factor to her in NXT that she has been hit with a fire extinguisher week after week on this show. She could not come across more campy than this character that has been just thrown all over the place.
It's all the more sad to see because she walks onto that stage every single week with that championship. In most cases, having a championship is a great thing for your career because it gives you spotlight. In this case, it's terrible because it gives you spotlight. And it highlights just how far she is from, I would say established wrestlers in this division. And I don't know how much I would fault her because we've seen her as a very successful wrestler in NXT. It's everybody probably like making that transition has to get accustomed to however they produce television here. And, maybe you chalk it up to the bad writing, but she's going to have to figure out how to make that bad writing work. Cause
it's bad writing and it's unfortunately bad delivery now too. Like it's very hard to overcome this stuff, but it's like, that's not helping matters. And I look at a Raquel Gonzalez and it's like, man, can prime them all you want.
How would Raquel fare on the main roster with dialogue like this? Like, God.
Well, booking like this, we'll get into this match. So it's Ripley and Charlotte against Nikki Cross and Asuka. And the big question Byron asks, how will they coexist? How? Ripley is sent to the floor. Flair gets in her face, and Ripley shoves her. Leave me alone. So Charlotte yanks Ripley to the floor and then tells her, get in the ring. And that sets up our commercial. I was very close to just not coming back to this show. Flair seats Cross, does this backflip, and then kicks her and goes into this violent chin lock and then chops Ripley as her tag. So these two can't get along. Dare I say, they cannot coexist with one another. Ripley tags herself in. Asuka hits a hip attack to Flair, a code breaker. There's a Northern Lights. Flair then makes the save and starts arguing with Ripley. They start fighting. Ripley goes for the riptide on her partner, but Flair rakes Ripley's eyes and then clips her knee, hits the natural selection, allowing Nikki Cross to pin Rhea Ripley in 13:25. Nikki Cross is nowhere near this match at Hell in a Cell. You could not possibly make me care about this match in 2 weeks. I hated this match. I hated this match with such a passion. I hate this feud. If you were to take these two and tell me, how can we reduce these two to absolute nothing on this show? I couldn't come up with the last few weeks, tonight's setup, and this match. I could not come up with worse ideas than this. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. There's no feud I hate more than this one.
It's pretty bad. It's just amazing because, like, I guess in this whole thing, they must have multiple aims of trying to elevate Nikki Cross while at the same time promoting a world heavyweight championship match between these two. And those two things just don't necessarily... They can go together, but I don't think they go together by having the person not having the title match constantly make your champion and challenger look like idiots. So that's the match that they're promoting. It's the funniest when you see the graphic pop up at the end of this. It's not Nikki Cross. It's the two losers who
you can't stand. They're gonna have the big match of the pay-per-view.
Who aren't even smart enough to like outsmart Nikki Cross, in a 2-minute beat the clock challenge or in a situation like this. They they just they're just both incredibly unlikable.
Feud's awful. Ugh.